Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Got another Neville nugget, a Goddard goodie for sure. The truth that sets you free. This is out of The Power of Awareness, Chapter 5, actually. This one's awesome. There was two really key things from this that I think are the big takeaways, the big life changers, game changers, probably for a lot of us, I think, for sure, are going to change everything for us. One, there's a concept of understanding how we manifest something, the way we feel, the way we are supposed to feel like we already have it. I feel like there's a good little kind of section here that I want to talk about, and I think it's pretty powerful how he helps illustrate it. Also, the way we think from something, or the living in the end kind of concept, there's a kind of a beautiful section in there too about that, and really I think helps put some clarity and focus on that. So let's get into it. Let's let Goddard do the talking, and then I'll just kind of play along with, right? The drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions, what you assume, right? So all of these assumptions are kind of what's helped bring life together. Since your life is determined by your assumptions, you are forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or their master. To become a master of your assumptions is the key to undreamed of freedom and happiness. You can attain this mastery by deliberate, conscious control of your imagination. You determine your assumptions in this way. Form a mental image, a picture of the state desired, of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon that feeling that you are already that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness. Then, feel yourself to be in that state as though it actually forms your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which was mere mental image is changed into seemingly solid reality. That paragraph, to me, he transitions into one, a powerful kind of approach to how we really imagine and why it works. But the very first two sentences are just kind of buried. By the way, here's a nugget. Here's a piece of magic that you just will walk right past. Be like, oh yeah, look at that fancy flower. Well, yeah, that flower can save lives and 25 million different kinds of sickness, right? Whatever. So form a mental image, a picture of the state of desired of the person you want to be. The person you want to be. So many of us wonder what something should feel like. This to me was the sentence that connected it. So many of us are like, well, what's it going to feel like if I'm with my specific person, for example? Well, one of the things that's going to attract you to them, or them to you, I should say, is maybe your confidence, maybe that sense of humor, that air of not superiority, but the air of confidence, I guess. I don't know, right? That whatever it is about you, that is that friendliness, that loving, kind, caring way you treat animals and help slugs and stuff, whatever, right? That is what you feel like. You are that person. It's that attracted them. Maybe it's trying to get an ex back. What was it that caused the change? What was it that caused the breakup? What is the thing that's changed? There's always kind of something, we grew apart, whatever. So bring back that thing that we weren't, that we stopped being. Feel that, be that. And that was really where it kind of dawned on me, having more money in your life. Being more of what that feels like having money. Now, yes, I've talked about it before, and I'm not going to get too into it, but it can be a little challenging to feel something you don't know or understand, that you've never experienced. If you've never had money, then yes, it can be difficult. So maybe you find some pictures, maybe you find some videos of people doing walkthroughs of gorgeous homes, but you start imagining yourself in that environment. This is where he gets into, and this is the transition. So yes, how we feel is super important. So how we feel is what creates the manifestation, as we've said before, but how we're getting ourselves to that feeling is also important. And he talks about how you want to get yourself in that place where you are the thing which you seek, right? So if you're trying to get more money, then you're in a nicer house. You're walking around in a beautiful home with a 5-car garage and maybe a Ferrari or Bugatti or whatever the heck's sitting in the garage. When you open up the garage door and you look into your beautiful, like I said, 5-car garage, you see your wife's car. Maybe it's a wonderful Mercedes or whatever. Maybe it's a Ferrari. Who knows? Maybe your wife's got taste. It's cool, right? Maybe you got some classics, right? Whatever. Look inside. What's your inside like? What's your kitchen like? Do you have an island? I mean, imagine what your life is like. Imagine having like a dinner party at your house. Imagine what people who are in wealthier environments feel like and do. And you're walking around dressed awesome clothes, walking around with wonderful people. You have people helping serve and cater the party. Life's great. It's grand. You're the life of the party. That's what you feel like. You feel like that. And that feeling's what attracts that experience to give that real feeling in real life. So the imagined feeling creates the real feeling in life through some sort of physical manifestation. That's how it occurs. So he gets into really imagining this state of being, this place where you've got everything that you want. So that's where he says, first visualize the picture in your consciousness, then feel yourself to be in that state as though it is actually formed your surrounding world. Like, imagine it like it's real. Make it as real as you can. By your imagination, that which was mere mental image is changed into seemingly solid reality. And that is the case. It is the feeling, and it is holding that vision. And again, it doesn't have to be the same exact vision every time. It's just the vision, the success of whatever it is that you're accomplishing. Again, if it's more money, then all these different scenes where money is kind of, you're going to nice restaurants, you're going on vacations, you see yourself sitting first class in airplanes. Like, you could have a ball with that. The same with being with your person. Experience. Think of all the different places you'd like to go, all the different rooms you'd like to experience certain things in. Right? Like, think of all the fun things that you're going to be doing with your special person. Imagine that. Imagine it to the point where you feel it. And then, again, and it's not feeling the love. It's not, I feel what they are like. No, it's what do you, as a person, how are you feeling when you're with them? When they're on your arm, the confidence, the glow, the fact that I can do no wrong, I can fly. It's that feeling that brings it to us. So, Goddard continues, the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. Let me say that again. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that which you are already that ideal, you identify yourself with it and thereby transform yourself into its image. Thinking from the ideal instead of thinking of the ideal. Every state is already there as mere possibilities. As long as we think of them, then then it's overpoweringly real when we think from them. Like, I'm saying that last part a little weird because it's kind of written funny. The of and thinking from. So there's a big, big difference between that. When we think of being with our somebody, for example, or when we think of being more wealthy, it's this thing out here. It's out here. It's this thing away from me. And when it's this thing away from you, your mind has a billion problems with trying to get to it. One, I don't even know how to get there. What do I tip-tock? Do I tiptoe? Would I tick-bite? I have no idea how to get to that thing over there. I can see it, but I can't do it. So I'm thinking of it. It is out here. It's this external thing. When I think from it, well, now I'm moving myself, right? Like, I'm moving myself into it, and now I'm thinking about it while I'm in it. Now it's real. Now it's right now. Now it's as real as I can make it in my mind. So it's not this thing that's external. It's this thing that I'm in right now. I'm a part of it. It's real inside of me right now. And your objective mind has a harder time with it because now it's, well, maybe we're playing make-believe. Call it what you want. But I'm creating this scene. I'm creating this image that's going to eventually, if I do it enough times, going to become a memory. It's because they happen in the same place in the brain. I've mentioned that before. Feel free to fact check that. It's all over, right? The places where memories are done and where imagination is done is the same part of the brain. So by creating it there countless times over and over, the objective mind is able to kind of see it as a reality. And when you put yourself in that reality, when you're from the situation, when you're actually inside it, three-dimensionally, right? I'm looking around and I see, there's a big old pile of cash or whatever, whatever signifies more cash. Maybe super nice center with a cool little like screen TV or whatever. Maybe you got some awesome speakers going on, right? And you got a brand name that you're fond of, like, I don't know, Harman Kardon, Yamaha, whatever name, right? Like you got some probably other cool names that I'm not ever seen, right? You've got awesome things going on in it. Or you're with your person, you're looking over at the couch in your mental image that you're creating, and you see them, or you're sitting next to them, or they're on your lap, or you're waking up next to them. Whatever your image is, you think from it. One of the beautiful things about thinking from something is it's kind of like X marks the spot, right? Like, say, for example, like the buried treasure is at X. And if I think of it, I'm like, that X, I don't know where it's at. I've got to go find clues. But clue on page something says to go to the tree and then take 12 paces to the east. And all right, well, what am I on the right tree path, right? So very challenging to find it because it's out there. I'm thinking of the X, right? But instead of being on the X, if I'm standing on the X, then finding my way back home, if you will, is much easier. Wherever that X is, I just need to start walking from it and start to identify people, maybe the city, what language they speak, right? Like very quickly I can start to ascertain where I'm at. And once I know where I'm at, it's easier to figure out how to get to the place that I know really well. So being from it, being on the X, knowing where the treasure is, like I'm thinking from the treasure. I'm thinking from the pot of gold. And there I am. And then I can worry about how to get there kind of easier. It's easier for the objective mind because you're already experiencing it. It's already real. This is what is called by the ancient teachers subjection to the will of God, or resting in the Lord. And the only true test of resting in the Lord is that all who do rest are inevitably transformed into the image that in which they rest. Thinking from the wish fulfilled, you become according to your resigned will. And your resigned will is your concept of yourself and all that you consent to and accept as true. It's a lot of stuff to basically say what's going on inside of you is basically what's going on outside of you. Your assumption about the way things are is going to manifest outside of you. You, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and continuing therein, take upon yourself the results of that state. Not assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are ever free of the results. And this gets back to the same thing when people say, I've done X, I've done Y, I've done all this stuff, and it's still not happening. Great. You can kind of look at it from that standpoint where you don't have it, or you can get back into the image of it. You can get back into imagining it. You can get back into living from the wish fulfilled. And oftentimes, a lot of the problems we have is because we stop doing stuff or we stop doing it well. That can happen frequently. But that being said, when you're living from the wish fulfilled, you get back to that feeling, and the feeling is what creates. When you understand the redemptive functions of imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the solution of all your problems. Every phase of your life is made by the exercise of your imagination. Determined imagination alone is the means of your progress, of fulfilling your dreams. It is the beginning and end of all creating. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. You continue to feel it until all your doubts and everything else leave. If you've got to do that every day so you feel strong enough so you can get through the day, if you've got to do it twice a day so you can feel strong enough to get through the day, if you've only got to do it once a week to get enough of that feeling so you don't have to think about it for the rest of the week, and then maybe on Sundays is the day you're like, right? And you get all butterflies and twinglies and blah, blah, blahs, right? And then you just feel great, awesome because you know it's happening, right? All these things work towards that. What greater gifts could be given you than to be told the truth that will set you free? The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality. And by maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become an actuality. Big, powerful statement here. Twofold. Awesome, right? If right now something's lacking in your life and you would like to experience it, imagine having it. And for the moment, make believe like a child. I did a video recently. But like for a moment, you have it, right? For a moment, you get to experience having it. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice to have it for a moment. Be it your thing, your person, your money, your new job, your car, whatever. Sailboat, right? Have it. Be the captain of your sailboat and be looking out and dolphins off the bow, right? For the bow pressure wave, whatever, right? Like whatever gets your fancy going. Like think about it. For a second, you're experiencing it. So for a second, it's real. Now, the second follow-up beautiful part is, hey, guess what? If I keep doing that, if I keep experiencing this thing that feels good, I like, it's what I want to do anyway, so I'm kind of daydreaming about the thing I want. People ask me frequently, is daydreaming okay? Well, this is an example where, yeah, you're daydreaming. You're spending a few precious thought moments thinking about something wonderful and experiencing it and making it real. You do that enough times, it becomes real. It actually enters your physical world. So that's all it comes down to. Feeling and holding the image. The image is about, creating the reality you want, basically painting it. You're deciding what is it that I want to experience. And then the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the power that makes it so. So you're painting the picture and then the feeling is and it pushes it out into the physical universe and suddenly, bam, there it goes. There's your reality. Tomorrow morning you wake up, you open your eyes, oh my God, everything's different. It's just made of gold. I have a waterfall water fountain or a rainbow water fountain. It's amazing. Little leprechaun just ran by and dropped a bunch of money. Oh, my life's so groovy, right? It can happen that quickly. Now, maybe not my crazy thing. You are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When the imagination is not controlled and the attention not steadied on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then no amount of prayer or piety or invocation will produce the desired effects. Let me say that sentence again. When the imagination is not controlled, meaning I can't control what I'm thinking about, and the attention not steadied on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, meaning I never felt anything while I was there. I didn't spend any time on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Then no amount of prayer, no amount of asking, or piety, doesn't matter how good a person you are, or invocation, there's no special words you can say, will produce the desired effect. What Goddard is saying is simple. Simple. What you think about creates the painting, creates the canvas, creates the whatchaconk, right? The Kodak, the copy, the Polaroid, right? And then what you feel is what pushes that into reality. It comes from the inside of you out. You feel it on the inside while experiencing it, and you push it out, basically, is how it works. And it's true. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. When you can call up at will whatsoever image you please, when the form of your imaginations are as vivid to you as the forms of nature, you are master of your fate. And one thing that's funny is he ended up waking up the next morning and kind of added something very beautiful. I'm going to actually read the longer one because I've already gone kind of long on this anyway. Might as well just go with me 1 second because this is a big little, oh my God, an aha moment that he had the following morning. So he, on an awakened thing, he said, on the morning of April 12th, 1953, my wife was awakened by the sound of a great voice of authority speaking within her and saying, you must stop spending your thoughts, time, and money. Everything in life must be an investment. To spend is to waste, to squander, to lay out without return. To invest is to lay out for a purpose from which a profit is expected. This revelation of my wife is about the importance of the moment. It is about the transformation of the moment. It is only what is done now that counts. Whenever we assume the feeling of being what we want, we are investing, right? So that's the key. And if we're squandering our thoughts, if we're squandering our feelings on fear, on, oh no, what if, all these things, right? If we're spending our thoughts and time and energy on things that aren't fruitful, that aren't bringing about what you want, then you're not investing your imagination moments. You're not investing your conscious attention. What we focus on is what we create. What we react to emotionally, we create more of as well. That is the power that pushes it out. What we're thinking about, and then if I emotionally react, just think of watching the news, just as a bad example of something not to do and why it's not a good idea. Get all fired up about something while I'm staring at it and thinking about it. Well, you're making more of it, believe it or not. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes turning off the TV will take you a lot further. Neville Goddard had some gorgeous nuggets in this one. X marks the spot. Where's your dream? What's your thing? Who do you want to be with? Is it getting an X back? Be that. Be that person that has the wealth. Be that person that has the girl. Be that person that has the guy. Keep forgetting a lot of my audience is female. Be that person. Enjoy it. Come from that place. Be that. And then live from what it is that you're trying to create. See yourself in it. Be in it. Make it real. Those feelings you generate during those times will create the most amazing dreams in your life. If you're not feeling the feelings, per Goddard, you're not creating the dream. You're not creating the image. If you're not seeing the image and you're able to get the feeling another way, again, I think there's something to be said about that. But sometimes you're leaving the painting just kind of left up to universe. And I've done it many a time where I've manifested almost exactly what I wanted. It was off by a small, really significant thing. Sometimes being a little more specific makes a big difference. Hopefully this does. Dan Radio Style.